Hey everybody, I'm Mama Baird and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be whipping up a couple of dinners for my family. Now, we all know that we struggle with coming up with new ideas for dinner, and we seem to be getting stuck in a rut, making the same stuff over and over and over. Well, I like to spend a lot of time on Pinterest, and I like to just get ideas and have them in my head, so that's kind of how I whip up things. I don't know, you have like a base recipe for things in your head, and then you can switch ingredients. That's what pantry cooking is all about, and that's what I'm all about here on Mama Bears, is teaching you how to use what you have on hand to whip up a delicious meal for your family. So if that's the kind of content you're into, I hope you'd consider subscribing. I'd love to have you come join me in the kitchen and share your ideas with me. All right, so let's get in the kitchen and let's get to cooking. For our first dinner, I'm going to be making some curry chicken. Now, this is curry chicken that I had made in the past, and I had it marinating. It just has yogurt, curry, salt, a couple different other spices. I can leave this linked below. I did this in my vacuum sealer review. And all I have is my cast iron skillet here. I heated it up in my oven, and then I put some bacon grease down, and now I'm just going to be putting the pieces on there, try and spread them out as much as I can. Some of this is chicken breast, some of this is chicken thighs, and I'm just going to be baking this at 375 degrees. I think I ended up doing it for about 20 minutes is what the time ended up being that they were cooked. And then I made some rice with it. I just used my Instant Pot to make some rice, and you definitely always want to cook it in broth, so that's why it has that beautiful golden color to it. So my plan is just to put some of the curry chicken on top of the rice. Now, this didn't have the color that I was going for. I don't know if it would have been better to just sear it on the stove, but it tasted good and it got cooked, so that's what matters. So I just diced it up, and then I had some leftover veggies that I was just trying to get through, and I threw those on top. And then with the chicken, it did kind of need a sauce. I wish it had more of a sauce, but that was what was for dinner, and it was quite tasty. Hey everybody, for tonight's dinner, I'm going to be making chicken Cordon Bleu casserole. I have some ham here. My mother-in-law likes to shop at Walmart, and she always checks out their deli section for reduced meat and cheeses, and it's really nice to have convenience ham and cheese stuff to make sandwiches. But this ham is not exactly the best. If you get this one, it's one of the lesser qualities of ham. So I think the best way to go about this is to slice it up and have it in a casserole versus just eating it on a sandwich. So that's what I'm going to do to use this ham up. And then I do have some Swiss cheese here. She was able to find some, but it's only a couple of slices. I don't know if it's going to be enough. So I also have pepper jack cheese here, which is one of my favorites. So I might do half Swiss, half pepper jack. I think that would be good. It calls for chicken, and I just happened to cook this chicken in the crock pot with a coffee rub. I can show you how I did that. I have some of my homemade dehydrated peppers. This is sweet peppers and jalapeno peppers. So I'm just gonna put some of that on the skin, just for a little bit of flavor. And then I have some coffee rub here I need to use up. So I think that sounds good. A little bit of coffee chicken. What do you think, Gideon?
I want to see it.
You want to see it?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Giddy? You gonna like coffee chicken? No?
No. One night when Cordon was at the skateboard,
I got a mouthful of food.
last time when oh, can you turn that on?
It's on.
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Last time when Cordon went to the skateboard place, he bumped his ribs on a skateboard.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I must not have been there. So I'm just going to plop some butter on there. I have some melted butter that I did this morning for pancakes. So I'm just going to stir that up. Put some blobs on there. Putting blobs of butter. Okay, what else should we put on here, Giddy?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly? I don't think so. I have some jalapenos here and jalapeno juice, and I really like the jalapeno juice. It's kind of like doing a Mississippi mud roast with pimento? No. Pickled pepperoncinis, yes. So I'm going to do that here and just put a little bit of jalapeno juice as my, well, see, now you're trying to show off. And then let's put a couple of jalapenos on here for good measure. You don't like jalapenos, Giddy?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm not the same. I'm not the same age as Betty. I'm not 6 yet. So
You're not 6 yet?
Yeah, so I don't like jalapenos yet.
So in order to like jalapenos, you have to at least be the age of 6. It has been determined. All right, I'm gonna put this on low. What time is it? 3 o'clock. Husband, quit sneezing for I'm filming. All right, I'm gonna put it on high and cook it for roughly 4 hours. We'll see. What do you think, Gideon?
Go. And also, let's put some maple syrup on it.
Oh, that'll taste good.
Mama.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Next, I got a big bag of broccoli from the food bank, and this is the last of it that I need to use up. So I'm going to kind of dice this up super small, and we're going to get this added to it. And then the recipe originally, this is a Six Sisters recipe. I will leave it linked below. It originally called for a cream of chicken soup, but I have a lot of this cream of broccoli cheese soup, and since it has broccoli in it, I think that that'll work just fine. So I'm gonna use this instead of cream of chicken. And then it gets topped with a box of stuffing mix. So I think this recipe sounds super quick, super easy. So let's get in here and let's get her put together. Open up this can. Open up that can. Take out the lid. Make sure you don't get cut. Okay. And then let's get this ham. It calls for 2 cups of ham diced, so I'm gonna use a mason jar here just to measure. And then just do like bite-sized pieces. I mean, it tastes okay. It's just not, you know, incredible. Alright, so that one bag was about 2 cups. So we'll just do that one for now. Gonna add it to our mixing bowl here. Then we're gonna add the cream of broccoli soup. Looks interesting. I do wish I would have added 2 cans. I think it would have made it a lot creamier. It does call for some Dijon mustard. I have this horseradish mustard. Oh, this is so good. So I'm gonna add that to it. And then 4 cups of chicken. So I'm just gonna add that whole, all of that. That's pretty good. Is that pretty good? The chicken does not taste like coffee. All right, then let's trim up some of this broccoli. Ouch. You can also use frozen broccoli if you'd like. Great, I got the broccoli in there, so let's mix this up. All right, you're just gonna put all of the ingredients in there and then you're gonna top it with your cheese. I broke some of this up so it would fit. The recipe calls for 8 slices, which is pretty much exactly what I have of Swiss cheese. So I will save the pepper jack for something else for deliciousness. This is 0.4 pounds of pepper jack, and then I still have this package of ham that's a little over ½ pound. So we can do something with these as well for later. So all we're doing is waiting for our stuffing to get done, and then we'll put it on top. All right, let's fluff our stuffing here. I didn't do anything to this. Exactly what the recipe on the box says. You can do it in the microwave. I just always do it on the stove, no big deal. This is going to a 375-degree oven for 20 minutes. I ended up letting this cook for 45 minutes and it looks absolutely beautiful. This was something unique for sure. I don't know if I'd make it again, but it definitely satisfied the craving for chicken cordon bleu and it got ate up, so that's what matters. For this next recipe, we're going simple and classic chili cheese dog casserole. So I got a can of chili beans and a can of beef chili. I got 4 hot dogs was all I had that I needed to use, so I wanted to stretch these hot dogs out was my main goal. And then with the beef chili, I wanted to stretch that out by adding a can of just regular chili beans to kind of make it so it's a little cheaper. I ended up cutting the hot dogs up a little more to make them a little more bite size. And then I'm just going to put those in the bottom of a 9x13 casserole. I have my oven set at 375. I'm going to pour the chili beans and the chili directly on top of the hot dogs. And then we're just going to get all that mixed around. This would be a good time if you want to add anything else to here. Maybe some salsa to kind of add some peppers and onions would be good in this. You could add like corn and black beans and take away the hot dogs and make kind of like a fiesta chili one. You know, this is a very versatile recipe. If you don't have hot dog, you could use like Vienna sausages or something like that. I'm going to sprinkle it with some seasoned salt just to kind of get that used up a little bit and add a little bit of flavor. But with those beans and chilies and hot dogs, it really doesn't need any additional salt. And then I'm going to be making just the Jiffy cornbread as it calls for. So 2 eggs, a 1/3 cup of milk, and then the package. It also would be good to add bacon, cheese, or diced jalapenos or chilies to this. That would be really good as well to spice up the corn mix a little bit. You could also make a homemade cornbread if you'd like to. I have a video on that I can link below if you would like. Homemade cornbread is super easy too and very versatile as well. You can add whatever you'd like to it and it just has a totally different flavor than Jiffy, even though Jiffy is pretty good though. So I'm just going to spread this on top. It looks like it's really thin and that it's not going to be enough, but I have done 2 Jiffies for this before and it was really thick. So I'm just going to go with it, go that thin, and we're going to bake it. And then you put whatever kind of cheese you heart desires on here. I'm going mozzarella because I happen to have a big block that was shredded and I have it in 2-cup portion containers, so I pretty much cook it with 2 cups at a time. And that's what it went on top. So I baked that for about 35 minutes and I'm just putting some freeze-dried parsley on this. And just look at that, guys. It's bubbly. One of my friends, Liz, is always like, you're not letting your cheese get crispy enough. So here you go, Liz. Super crispy cheese. Otherwise, mine's too gooey, I guess. You want that brown cheese on top. But this was delicious, guys. Like, between the 6 of us, we ate this whole entire pan this night. I'm not even going to lie. So definitely give this recipe a try if you need a quick night dinner. For tonight's dinner, I'm going to be heating up some of this canned beef stew. I have 2 of them, and I'm going to make some rice in my Instant Pot and just serve the beef over rice. I might add some extra potatoes or carrots to this depending on what it looks like when I open it. I have not seen this before or had it before, so we're excited to do that. But let's throw some rice in, and then once the rice is done, it's not going to take long to heat up the beef stew. So I'm going to use Jeffrey Eisner's, I think his name is, his step-by-step Instant Pot book. If you guys do not have this, I will have it linked below. This is an awesome book just for reference on basic Instant Pot cooking if you're new to it. I can also link the Instant Pot that I use. I got mine used though on Facebook. Go to Goodwill. I just saw one at our local Goodwill for $18. So try and shop around and find some used equipment first. Lots of people get Instant Pots and then don't use them. Same with the air fryers. So here I'm going to go to rice. It's just in the basic category of this book and it shows you both white and brown so you know the different times. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook equal parts rice to broth. I'm going to use broth. So whether you're using white or brown rice, you're going to use equal parts of rice to broth. So what I'm going to do is measure this. I have a thing of basmati rice here, and it says 2 pounds, 32 ounces, but I'm going to measure it just to make sure. Whoa, yeah, see, so it looks like it's about 5 cups. So if you, get in there. If you ever measure something and it's like above where the line is on the measuring cup, the furthest one, then I'm just going to fill the broth up, like to where it says Pyrex. I'm going to just fill the broth up to there so it's an even number. So that's about 5 cups. Here I have some homemade turkey broth that I need to use up. Now I used my vacuum sealer to seal this, so it is sealed Whoa. So it is sealed and it has lasted quite a while in the fridge by doing that. So what I'm gonna do is pour the remaining of this broth. If you guys cook your rice or noodles in broth, it's going to have so much more flavor, and that's really going to change the depth of flavor in your rice is by cooking it with broth. I just topped off my turkey broth here with water, so I have the same amount. Pour that in there. I'm also gonna add a little salt. I do not salt my broth when I make it, so this rice is probably gonna need it. Just gonna add in some kosher salt, and this will help make sure that the rice is good and seasoned. All right, let's give it a stir just to make sure it's fully incorporated and covered. All right, so this says for white rice, we're going to pressure cook it for 3 minutes and then let it sit for 10 minutes. So that's not very long at all. So pressure cook. Now this does have a rice button, but honestly, I've never used it. Has anybody else used the rice button in their pressure cooker? All right, so we're gonna let this go. And then once it's cooked for 3 minutes and has sat for 10 minutes, we're going to naturally release whatever pressure's left. All right, time's up. Time's up. Ow, wrong button. Let's see. Oh, that was pretty great. Look at that. Let's try a bite. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Wow. And just like that, we have rice. I could eat a bowl of just that. So I'm gonna take this off warm. So to do that, you just press cancel and it turns the whole thing off. Alrighty, and then over here on this side, I have these cans of beef here, but I kind of want to spice these up, fluff them up, add a little bit to them. So I have some of my hot pickled garlic. And then this is some ground bacon cooked with onions and peppers that I need to use up. So I'm going to be adding this as well. And then I have some home canned potatoes and carrots. And then I also have home canned mixed veggies. I'm probably not going to add these to the stew, but this is just another thing that I like to do with my home canned goods. Whenever you're making your dinner, you don't have to just use what's in the can, right? Use what else you have in your pantry to fluff up the meal. Or use your home canned goods and mix it up with the food that you get from the food bank to make a meal for your family. It doesn't have to be either or. It doesn't have to be you're only eating food from the grocery store or from a food pantry or whatever. And it doesn't have to be where you're only eating homegrown canned food. You can have a combination, especially when you're first starting out and learning how to make food stretch and to how to be self-reliant and to how to grow food, can food, preserve food. It takes time, it takes practice, and don't be afraid to do like semi-homemade and mix stuff up, guys. That's what's best for your family, and that's really how you extend your budget and make the most out of what you have. All right, so let's get this bacon plopped down. I'm almost done with it. This was one of the packs that I had ground and frozen. And then I cooked this off, and I've just been adding this to every little thing I make, and it's been delightful. I added this to meatloaf, added some of this to spaghetti. Like, honestly, bacon makes everything better, right? So I'm just going to kind of get this loosened up. Most of this is cooked. It has a little bit of grease in it still that can be rendered. And that was kind of my plan when I packaged it, was to just have it par cooked so I can get out a lot of the grease, but it'll still have some in there for whenever I need it to cook with whatever I'm going to mix it in. Let's add some of this pickled garlic. Whoa, okay. Is that too much? Might be too much. Well, we're going to go with it because that's what came out. Next time, grab a spoon. Yeah, don't just pour it out all willy-nilly. Okay. Oh, instantly though, guys, the smell. Garlic and bacon. All right, let's get these open. I'm going to try a sample of it. Well, that's pretty thick. Now, the microwaving ingredient, or the microwave, the instructions on this is just to microwave this. I mean, that tastes pretty good. I'm definitely glad that I'm adding stuff to it, though. Wow, that's got a lot of potatoes in it. So I might not need the carrots and potatoes after all. right, now that I have this cooked, I'm gonna turn my heat down a little bit because I don't need to be searing anything. I'm just kind of heating up everything else. So I'm just trying to be super gentle, not like smashing it, because that food is canned and it's already pretty soft, so you don't want to mash it up anymore. All right, we're gonna put a lid on it and let it cook for a little bit. I'm gonna add some Worcestershire sauce to it, add a little more flavor. It's just kind of missing something, but I don't want to add more salt to it because I know canned goods usually have quite a bit of salt in them. Plus we salted the rice. So you always want to look for alternative ways to season food if you're looking to reduce some salt. Yes, I also want some herbs in this. See, I forgot I have a Zatara seasoning blend. Trying to get through. Bet that'll be good. It's a little too much. There we go. Don't mind the children playing basketball with the neighbor. They might be loud, but I'm just glad they're preoccupied and out of my hair, you know? All right, I'm gonna turn that off. We got our bowl of rice. Oh, this is not gonna work. Let's just spoon her. There we go. There's just something about watching your kids play with other kids, right? Like, you just see a different side of them that you don't usually see when they're playing with you and you're always in mom mode, you know, but just seeing them have fun with another kid, it really makes me happy. I love our life and I love where we live. I love our neighbors. We got such a good life. All right, sorry, I just had an overwhelming mom grateful moment of just being grateful for my life and seeing my kids play, and hopefully they stay out there though. I don't want them to come in. Oh, that much. Ooh, look at that steam. That's good. I really like putting the rice in it. I think that's really good at fluffing it up. I could totally see doing mashed potatoes with this, even though it already has potatoes in it. What's some more starch, right? Mm-hmm. Hot. Well, I would say that's a keeper. I really like that. Don't be afraid to beef up your stew by adding different elements to it to make it stretch out more, add more flavor to it. You know, make that your own. Just because you're having a canned food doesn't mean you can't turn it into something magical. And just like that, we have some delicious dinners that really didn't take any time at all. Use different appliances that you have, use all the different ingredients you have, and just whip something up that your family will love. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time on Mama Baird's.